Important Christmas Day stimulus update. 2020 Dateline, Christmas Day. You ready? Merry Christmas. Let's read. Philanthropic tyranny. While society is struggling towards liberty, these famous men who put themselves at its head are filled with the spirit of the 17th and 18th century. They think only about subjecting mankind to the philanthropic tyranny of their own social inventions, like Rousseau. They desire to force mankind docilely to bear this yoke of the public welfare that they have dreamed up in their own imaginations. This was true especially in 1789. No sooner was the old regime destroyed than society was subjected to still other artificial arrangements, always starting from the same point, the omnipotence of the law. Listen to the ideas of the few of the writers and politicians during that time. Saint Just, the legislature commands the future. It is for him to will the good of mankind. It is for him to make men what he wills them to be. Robespierre, the function of government is to direct the physical and moral powers of the nation towards the end for which the Commonwealth has come into being. Belad Varanus, a people who are to be returned to liberty must be formed anew. A strong force and vigorous action are necessary to destroy old prejudices, to change old customs, to correct depraved affections, to restrict superfluous wants and destroy ingrained vices. Citizens, inexorable austerity of Lycurgus created the firm foundation of the Spartan Republic. The weak and the trusting character of Solon plunged Athens into slavery. This parallel embraces the whole science of government. La Pelletier. Considering the extent of human degradation, I'm convinced it is necessary to effect a total regeneration and, if I must so express myself, of creating a new people. The socialists want dictatorship. Again, it is claimed that persons are nothing but raw material. It is not for them to will their own improvement. They are incapable of it. According to Saint Just, only the legislature is capable of doing this. Persons are merely to be what the legislature wills them to be. According to Robespierre, who copies Rousseau literally, the legislator begins by decreeing the end for which the Commonwealth has come into being. Once this is determined, the government has only to direct the physical and moral forces of this nation towards that end. Meanwhile, the inhabitants of the nation are to remain completely passive. And according to the teachings of Belad Varanus, the people should have no prejudices, no affections, and no desires except those authorized by the legislature. He even goes so far as to say that the inflexible austerity of one man is the foundation of a republic. In cases where the alleged evil is so great that ordinary government procedures cannot cure it, Mabley recommends a dictatorship to promote virtue. Resort, he says, to an extraordinary tribunal with considerable powers for a short time. The imagination of the citizens need to be struck a hard blow. This doctrine has not been forgotten. Listen to Robespierre. The principle of the Republican government is virtue, and the means required to establish virtue is terror. In our country, we desire this to substitute morality for selfishness, honesty for honor, principles for customs, duties for manners, the empire of the reason for tyranny of fashion, contempt of vice for contempt of poverty, pride for insolence, greatness of soul for vanity, love of glory for love of money, good people for good companions, merit for intrigue, and genius for wit, truth for glitter, the charm of happiness for the boredom of pleasure, the greatness of man for the littleness of the great, a generous, strong, happy people for good-natured, frivolous, degraded people. In short, we desire to substitute all the virtues and miracles of a republic for all the vices and absurdities of the monarchy. And we can go on. The issue is, the stimulus package, dudes. It's going to come when it comes. It's going to come when it comes. There's nothing to do about it. The law is yet to be passed. All this stimulus stuff on YouTube is driving me up the wall. I'm like, seeing it, I'm like, dude, can we stop? Stop. It's good. So I had to get my little clickbait in. It's fun. All right, if you're interested, it's Bastiat, Frederick Bastiat, the law. When was Bastiat around? 1890s or something like that? I simply forgot. I can't remember when Bastiat was around, but by all means, you should get yourself a copy of Bastiat. It doesn't say when this was printed. Anyway, Merry Christmas. Here's to a good new year, 2021. Remember, Jesus was born so he could die to be resurrected. That is where Christianity, if it wasn't for the resurrection, Jesus is just another dude. That's it. The resurrection is what makes the foundation of Christianity. Obviously, the birth of Christ is a miracle, right? For sure. But it's the resurrection that's everything. The resurrection. All right, blessings.